I want to give up. You know, within the past 24 hours, I've changed my plans a bit, and I'm not gonna lie, this particular moment, I want to give up. And I always get to points where I want to give up. I'm sure we all have been there, where you're working on something and you've been working on it for so long, for so hard, but you know, there's just nothing more that you can do. You just literally want to give up. You have put all your time and effort into something and it just hasn't worked out. And so, what do you do? Well, a lot of times people tend to give in to quitting the task at hand, whatever it may be. Now, for me, I'm going to kind of explain a little bit about what I have been working on and why I kind of want to give up right now. First of all, the last 24 hours, I think yesterday I recorded for about 6 hours, 3 hours of which I was programming nonstop. Um, I literally got a headache after I was done yesterday. It was pretty bad. Um, I think I played Minecraft for 3 hours then too, which, obviously that's not like a super hard task, but mentally at the end of it, I was very drained, and afterwards I was supposed to, script, edit, and upload that video yesterday as well. And I don't think I started scripting till like, in fact, I actually didn't get to scripting because it took so long. I don't think I managed to get start scripting until about like 6 o'clock p.m. if I would have, or not even then. I think it was even later. I think it was like 8 o'clock p.m. I would have had to start scripting then, and it just like I don't know. It drained me from after recording for that long. Um, and so yeah, I just really then today I think I ended up recording another 2 hours of programming, like just straight programming, and then now I'm here, and I think I have a test in like another, right after I'm done with this, I have to go take a test. So, it's very, very a crammed schedule, very busy schedule, and on top of that, my goals have always been, or at least the last, I want to say 3 years, I've always had this, this dream um, game that I want to make, and this also being able to succeed on YouTube has been another thing. I want to be able to create this really cool, voxel game that I've always had this idea for since starting game development in the first place. And the other thing is, for I think the past at least year or two, I've had this really cool idea for basically a YouTube video that tells kind of my life story. And I know it sounds crazy because, obviously it doesn't exist yet. And I always think about it and whatnot, but, you know, it's just, these are just part of my goals and I feel like who I am. Obviously, I've been trying to do YouTube and game dev for like the better part of almost 4 years now, I want to say. Yeah, it's approaching 4 years of, attempting to do both, which again, I have never been really successful at. I've always kind of been, the biggest issue has always been I've been too afraid to post things. I will make like a really cool project, or not even like really cool. To me, it doesn't seem as cool, but I'll work on a project for like a week or two at a time, or sometimes even months at a time. And then at the end of it, I'll just be like, I don't actually really like this. I feel like I spent all this time and it's still not very good of a, project, or like I feel like I can't show it off because, you know, no one's really gonna, appreciate the amount of time that I spent, working on it. For instance, I know one time I spent, I think the goal was basically to make a video where I built a game and then I spent 24 hours within the game. So I spent 24 hours building this game and then I spent 24 hours, playing the game. So I had to make it kind of like entertaining for myself. And yeah, I think I was recording for like 12 hours and it was getting super late, and it was like 3 a.m. and I finally just like gave in. I was like, I just need to go to bed. And you know, projects like that. But also, I think the game that I made, it just after a while, it kind of got boring, and it kind of fell apart pretty quickly after that. As I realized, like, I tried to implement mechanics that would like create a lot of like fun, or like that would take a while to get boring. So I added like a drawing mechanic, and you know thought that would be interesting, but in the end, I ended up giving up, and I feel like I do that a lot. I tend to give up on projects that I have spent, you know, hours of my life on. And I don't think it's always a bad thing. Some of the projects genuinely did need to be quit, but obviously, the sunk cost fallacy wouldn't allow it. And if you don't know what that means, the sunk cost is basically, if you've spent so much time on a certain project, eventually, if you hit a certain point where you've spent like hours and hours on it, you just have to complete it, because the amount of time that you've spent on it, you'll never get back unless you were to finish the actual project or whatever task or thing you're working on. Now, the biggest thing, again, that kind of keeps me going for like just advice for someone else who's embarking on a big project or big task, I would say there's two things that really motivate me to, keep going on this journey, because, it's been 4 years and I still, there's no real visible progress. I mean, I think my last video, although it was a recap video, and you know, I wouldn't say I haven't made any progress. Like, I've definitely made progress, but there is no, for people that don't make YouTube videos, it seems very minuscule, the amount of, progress that I've made. And it's like, oh, I'm not even making money. I've like my views have actually gone down by quite a bit. Ooh, an end city. And people think about it in that form. They're like, oh, you haven't made money, or you haven't gotten hundreds of thousands of, or millions of views. It's like, well, yeah, but the thing is, most of the time, for creators at least that I know of, it has taken them years to do this kind of stuff. It's not a day one type ordeal. It usually takes years of practice that no one sees, and then finally they blow up all of a sudden with something that just really really works for them and whatnot. Now, for me, again, it's always kind of like you gotta find your thing that sticks and whatnot, which has always been the big thing. For me, though, again, back to, what keeps me going on this journey that seems to be almost never ending. I would say there's two big things. There's obviously, I'll watch a bunch of videos on, like, what I want to accomplish, or something that's close to what I accomplish. So, obviously, with my dream game, I'll watch other videos of people making either their dream game or making a voxel game of some sort. And it's just, I don't know, for me, it's like really inspiring to watch those types of videos. And it really helps me to keep going. The other thing is again, I can like look back on my other progress, or older progress, I guess, that I've made on past, attempts of YouTube and whatnot, and kind of like make fun of my older videos. And yeah, that's all I have to really say about you know, what really keeps me going. But also, it's like, again, I've spent so long on this, and it's just like, I'm at the point now where I know I'll succeed. I just have to, you know, uh, I just have to like keep, like, I feel like, I don't know, one day I will make it. And that's kind of what I'm hoping. And if I don't, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel like all those other YouTubers, like frickin' Mr. Beast, who literally just says, I'm either gonna do YouTube full time or I'm gonna be homeless. So, guys, I might be homeless. Which would not be ideal, but I just feel like the other thing is like, if I just the thought in my mind is like, if I'm going like, if I keep doing this like daily, like, surely one of these days I'll make it. Surely one of these days I'll have a video that pops off, and I won't, like, I won't have to worry about things like going or becoming homeless in that sort of a sense. There's so many. Leave me alone, please. Ooh, Depth Strider. Protection. Take that. So anyways, yeah, that is my spiel, I guess, on you know, giving up and whatnot. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.